Move over, Swanson. I'm driving.
Welcome back to the Caddyshack Minute. This, as you know, is the podcast in which we celebrate and scrutinize and analyze and use a golf club-shaped object to slice every flower out of the film Caddyshack.
Back to the shit.
One at a time. I am one of your hosts, Tom Taylor, and with me are Mike DiMaria.
Yeah, you're running out of ideas.
Hey, it's late. There's not a lot going on in this minute. And Dan Lewis.
Bullshit. Tears in his eyes, I guess. It was on Local Boy, out of nowhere.
I'm not saying it's a bad minute. It's just there's not a lot. Okay.
Anyway,
this is the minute. I'll give you a sense of what this minute is like. This minute begins. Minute 62 begins with Carl Spackler golfing on some flowers, and it ends with almost the identical shot and situation. Almost nothing has happened between the beginning and end of this minute, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, to say that nothing has happened is inaccurate, but you know,
Right. It's
it's not a lot of forward motion.
one of cinema's great improvised scenes,
Yes.
and probably the single most famous scene in the movie, as we discussed before.
It could be.
Yeah, I think it is probably.
Yeah. I way back when we were like 15 and I was talking about how, the whole Dalai Lama thing, I don't think I was saying it shouldn't be as popular as it is. I was questioning why it was so popular or something, but I don't question why this is a popular, famous scene. This is golden.
It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's flashing some of the skills that would one day make him a huge, serious movie box office star.
Right.
And championship PGA golfer. Which, as we know, he ended up winning the 2003 Masters tournament.
Right.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. We're proud of him. Now, was he, this is the first time we've seen him with this shirt, isn't it? He hasn't been wearing this shirt before. He's had other get-ups. I'm just wondering, like, what he's done to create these two stains on the front of his shirt.
Right. They're very weird.
Yeah.
Like he's got stains right where his, to put it politely, his pectoral muscles are.
Yeah.
He's got the shirt buttoned all the way, even the top button, like if you were getting very dressed up, and then one of the collars is turned up, the other one down.
Right.
And he's really dressed like a real dirtbag.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Pants,
is he here to party or what?
Pants tucked into the groundskeeping boots.
Mm-hmm. Wait, he's not wearing shorts?
Gilligan hat.
No, he's wearing long pants.
Oh, his pants are tucked in? Yeah, to the boots, so it looks like shorts if you're looking at
Yeah, they got them tucked in,
quickly.
yeah. It's like some knickers.
Yeah.
They got the building behind him has the sort of CBC Bushwood Country Club.
Bushwood, yeah, that was a nice touch, huh?
That is a nice. I'm always amazed when this movie makes any kind of an effort. When there's like, there was if that hadn't been there, you would never say like, oh, it's too bad they didn't put a logo there.
Right.
But yeah, it's a nice touch. Somebody made that sign and put it on the set of the film.
Now, do you see, since we've been watching this minute by minute, and we've been kind of going slowly through this, it seems like we haven't seen Carl Spackler in a very, very, very long time.
No, it's been ages.
Even it seems even longer than Rodney.
Yeah.
Even though we did see him in the Baby Ruth scene.
Right.
But I think I was thinking about this today, like when this is all said and done, we finally get through all these minutes, and we get to the end. Mm-hmm. Now, then we just sit down and watch the movie as if we're watching it, and as we're watching it, do we hear all our commentary in our head? Does the movie now become three-dimensional?
Possibly.
Yeah, I think I know what you're saying. Like, I don't know.
We're going to watch it synchronously now.
I think it will have a different feel now that we've picked it apart this way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think the movie will always be different for us forever. And
but it's changed us forever.
Will you hear our personal stories in your mind or as you're watching the movie then? It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, almost everything will be a Mike story.
Yeah. It'll be my life and my neurosis is now forever stamped on this movie.
Yeah, I'll say this is the part where Mike goes fishing with his dad.
Yeah.
When I'm watching it with people.
Yeah, this is where he chases some guy down the street. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
This is where he
This is the part where
completely
Gordon
became
Jump tries
unglued.
to put the moves on Dudley.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. Put the
Oh, I feel
moves on.
bad. Mike was very sick during this minute.
Yeah. He's having a hard time, but he still managed to pull out some great stuff from the script.
Yeah, I'll just lean over to the person I'm just watching with and go, I don't like the coughing in this next scene. All the
Tell me if it
bothers
hack
you.
and cough.
Yeah. That hackneyed hacking.
Yeah.
I do sort of feel like that's true, though. I feel like if I think back on the scenes we've already done, it does feel like where we were then and what we were talking about and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then if we
I
go
feel
back
like
to
it's like
Ty's
a little
house,
scrapbook of our lives.
if you watch the scenes with Ty's
Oh.
house, it's literally only a few minutes long. And
Yeah.
I wonder
It's like-
now if we watch it and it feels like an eternity.
It's like
with
4.5
gray hair.
minutes long. Yeah. It's and it never seemed long to me. Like I never
No.
really noticed that. I just was waiting, I guess. I mean, there's things in those scenes I like, so it's not that big of a deal. But doing like the way time is stretched out, watching it this way is totally like you're saying. We haven't seen Carl Spackler in a while. We literally have not seen him in months.
Right.
We've not seen him in months.
Yeah.
So it's like you haven't seen a friend in a while. It's like, oh, how you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And before Rodney showed up at the boat club, at the yacht club, it had been, like even
a long
longer than
time.
that. It was
Yeah.
been months and months.
Yeah.
He's been missing from this movie for a long time.
Like it's now spring. We just had the first day of spring, and I think we saw Rodney in the fall.
I think you're right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think I visited 4 countries since I've last seen him. I've been on 3 continents.
When did we last see Rodney before that?
Well, it was
Was it at the club, at the dinner?
Yeah, I think it's the dinner, right?
yeah.
Popcorn
Yeah.
fart.
Yeah, or like, dancing to Ringo and Boogie Wonderland.
Oh, that's it.
No.
What? Mike disagrees.
That's the
I was
best.
just saying. I was just saying it can't be that long, and then I did a line from a movie. What movie is that from?
Well, say it again.
No.
Jesus.
That's a very simple line. I can name that movie in one note.
Bing.
What is it?
In one very common word.
It says, I swallowed a lot of aggression, along with a lot of no. He goes, as you can see, I have a slight weight problem. No. It was like a collective groan from the regiment, from the platoon.
That's great. Yep.
And it's
That's
Bill
right.
Murray it's a close up of Bill Murray just like shaking his head, and here's no.
I feel like we've I know Stripes has come up a lot on the show.
Yeah, we've discussed this
And I
exact
feel-
thing somewhere. Yes.
But have we discussed that I'm not 100% into Stripes?
No, we
you think you
haven't
just
really.
played along.
Yeah.
I
think
mean, I
you've been
like it.
playing
I like,
along.
you reference stuff and I think it's funny, but as a movie, it's
That's your
I don't
second.
know.
That's your second.
Tom, I'll
flaw
say
I know it's
this.
my second in two episodes.
This
I know.
is heresy overall, but I'll say this. Well, actually, I mentioned this before, which is that I made a sort of slight reference to this was when my mom was visiting me. I had one night where it was like we were just going to order pizza and watch movies, and we watched The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, which my mom had
Awesome.
not seen in a long time, and I watched it at Tom's behest, and he's not watched any of the movies I told him to watch. But anyway,
I don't respect you enough.
right. And I'm glad he told me to watch that movie because I loved it. And then after that, we said, well, what are we going to watch next? We're still awake. We're in relatively early. Let's watch another movie. I said, what about... She brought up a movie. We wanted to laugh. We put on Stripes. It takes forever. In my head, he's got the pizza, and his girlfriend breaks up with him, and he goes, you can't leave. All the plants are going to die. And then they go to the... And then next thing you know, they're getting their heads shaved, and they're going to see Sergeant Hulka. But... when you actually watch it, it's like 20 minutes of him sitting in his bedroom or in his living room talking to Harold Ramis, going on and on and on. And I thought, boy, when are they going to get to the thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff in Stripes, but there's a lot of dead space. Like once the last third of that movie, there's like not a lot going on. Like there's a lot of like action, like they're driving the big Winnebago around and stuff. Like there's
Yeah.
not,
EM50.
the comedy sort of stops.
EM50,
Thank you
Tom.
very much.
I'm sorry,
Urban
the
assault
EM50.
vehicle.
It is not a Winnebago branded vehicle.
Oh, okay, you Stripes nerds.
Urban assault
Come on,
vehicle.
man.
I kind
Where
of
you
want to
get
say
off
the
calling
only
us nerds.
the only Ivan Reitman directed movie that I actually like love is Ghostbusters. I think
Yeah.
all the rest are kind of like, no.
Well, what else? What else
whatever.
did Ivan Reitman
Sorry.
do?
That's fine.
He's got to have
maybe you're
done
right,
some
I
other
don't know.
movies.
I might be right, but we don't know.
I don't know.
But either way, so it'll be funny. It'll be interesting to see how we watch the movie synchronously linearly when this is all said and done.
I kind of look forward to that.
Right.
And I'll call one of you guys and say, hey, I'm watching Caddyshack. I just wanted to see how you're doing. You good?
Yeah.
I miss
we'll
you.
See. Yeah.
It's okay. We'll be on to our next film at that point.
I'm here at
that's
the
right.
Music Box Theater. We're getting ready to watch Caddyshack, and
The
it's a
air is
great ad
electric.
living here.
Yeah.
Boy, a young boy out of nowhere, tears in his eyes, I guess. Which I've always loved that line. Tears in his eyes, I guess.
Just assuming.
He at one point says, I noticed, even not knowing anything about golf, I noticed that the distances are all completely screwed. He says he's got about 455 yards, so he's going to use a 2-iron.
Give it a 2-iron.
Nobody can hit any club 455 yards, so you would use a big club unless you were, laying up short of some sort of water hazard or something.
Yeah.
And then he says he's got 350 yards, which means his last hit only went 100 yards, which is actually less than you'd hit a 2-iron.
Right.
And then he says his third shot is 195 yards, which means he says he's got 350 yards, so he's going to use a 5-iron. And then the next shot is 195, meaning his 5-iron went 150 yards, which is exactly the correct distance for a 5-iron. So he gets the second one, in a weird way, exactly right.
That is weird.
Yeah. That's all I had to say.
Yeah,
It's like
I
he
read
almost knows what he's talking
I
about.
was curious about that one. Yeah. About to become the Masters champion. I don't think we get to that part in this movie. It gets a little bit cut, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
This is two all-time. I don't want to be a spoiler here for those who haven't seen all the movie yet and are watching it 1 minute at a time. This is back to back two of the greatest scenes. We're about to go into like a totally classic scene right after this one.
It might be my favorite part of the movie.
It's
The next
absolutely
scene.
hilarious.
Yeah.
It's so good, and I love this scene. I've always
do
loved
too.
it. Yeah.
Well, I did find there's a parallel to another role that Bill Murray plays later in his career here. Do you think can you see it?
No, I'm wondering what you're talking about.
He has three
Space
magical.
Jam?
No, he has three. He has three magical shots here, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So as he's telling the tale, each shot is magical. Even the in his story that he's telling here, he's got tears in his eyes because he knows he's going to win it. Right.
Yeah.
He just knows it. So each shot, it's 3 shots that are going to win it all for him.
Kingpin.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So at the end, when he has to make the 3
With
strikes
the
in a row,
rose and the ball.
Yeah.
Oh.
the first shot, he's uncertain, right? But when he nails that first shot, he starts pumping those shoulders.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the funniest thing ever. It's the funniest thing ever. I'm like going out of my mind just thinking about it right now.
He's pumping his shoulders like he's getting a
That
locomotive
hair.
moving. Yeah, but
Yeah.
the train is moving, and watching it, he's gonna see, the next 2 strikes is a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
he's gonna win it all. So that's how this kind of scene rolls out. It's the same. He's got 3 magical shots.
Oh God, it's the
But
greatest.
when he nails that first one, he turns to crowd. He goes, 1. We got 1, and he starts pumping the shoulders, pump up the crowd.
It's the best.
That's when you know it's
ESPN guys are going nuts.
Yeah.
And he throws this, and he throws Woody Harrelson's prosthetic hand into the crowd, and he goes, "Oh, some lucky fan's got a souvenir."
No, but you know what? Dan and I use this scene when we watch Tiger games. We watch our baseball team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it'll always be Tigers will be up like 5 runs late in the game, right?
God.
Looks like the game's in the bag, and then a couple series of events happen, right?
Right.
And I'll lean
Pumping.
over to Dan and I'll say, "Big Earn is chugging is pumping his shoulders."
Yep. Big
other
Earn
words-
McCracken's pumping his shoulders.
I go, "He's pumping his shoulders right now," and he knows right away that the game is about to be lost. Because they'll be, and then before you know it, they're down by 4 runs. Because
Yeah.
we know it. It's like the turning point of the game. It's like there it is. Big Earn's pumping his shoulders.
Oh my God! You just reminded me of something else too, Mike. Did you tell me if this was the Titans that we played on or the band?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
one of our baseball teams, but there was
Big
a
Earn
guy on the
McCracken.
team, is an older guy, and his once in a while his hat would fly off. Or like Mike and I are, a little bit thinning on top here, and
Sure.
I perhaps more than Mike, but we crop it pretty short. And if you remember in Kingpin, Big Earn McCracken had this giant comb over it, and in that scene, it's like it's going out of. It's like those shots of like Donald Trump walking out to Air Force, out to the helicopter with like the way his hair flies around. That's what's happening. Yeah. But there was a guy on the team, and I don't even remember his name.
We're not going to mention it. Yeah.
The reason I don't remember his name is because it's the name we gave him. Once in a while, his hat would fly off, and the hair would be doing that thing. So we called him Big Earn McCracken.
But there was another nickname. So the coach of this team, he kept a team website. You know, it was like a men's baseball league. Mm-hmm. But he fancied himself kind of like a website wizard. Yeah. So he would have like he like made the front page like a newspaper. You know, and all these fake stories all over it.
Oh yeah.
And it would have like fake quotes from each player. You know, and one it said something. So this guy we were talking about, he had a quote from Andrew Jackson on there. Remember?
Oh
and
yeah.
It was something about it had a quote because the guy who ran the team was this conservative guy.
Yeah.
So he would make these little comments about, and he said something about Indian removal, but he said it was like, oh, what are they complaining about or something. But he put it as a quote from this player. So Dan and I didn't know that this guy was doing shtick. So we show up to the game and we started calling him, "Hey, Old Hickory."
We call him Old Hickory.
And we were like in his face and like, what do you got against Native Americans?
He's like, what
buddy?
are you talking about?
He's like, what are you talking about? I go, I read your shit on the webpage. You were knocking the Indian.
We started giving him a hard time about the Trail of Tears.
Yeah, we're like, how would you like it if you? Yeah,
this is why Mike and I didn't do well socially on baseball teams that we were on. And then this guy, meanwhile, all he's done is his helmet has flown off. He's done nothing wrong, and he's done nothing wrong on the website. And all he's knows is he's got these two assholes calling him Big Earn McCracken and Old Hickory.
But we got in his face. We're like, what's your fucking deal, man? They called it. They didn't call it the Trail of Tears because it was a joyride. You know?
Right.
And he's like, what are you talking about? And so then I'm like, we read what you wrote on the webpage. What the fuck's the matter with you? He's like, I didn't write that.
Oh my God.
Old Hickory.
Yeah.
That's
Old
incredible.
Hickory. I forget about those baseball stories. Yeah, those are a lot. We got a lot of those.
Baseball sounds like fun the way you guys tell it.
Yeah, we got one. Yeah,
maybe I should get involved.
We were not liked on that. We played 1 year on the Titans.
Yeah,
we were not liked on that.
My nickname was Creamhorn.
Well, we gave you that one, Creamhorn.
We picked up pastries before the game. We thought people would like pastries. One of them is one of those cones, like a pastry cone with a cream on the inside. It's called a Creamhorn.
Yeah.
And they go, what's this? It's a Creamhorn. And then we'd look like fancy lads because we read the New York Times on the Sunday morning on the bench before we were like Ogilvy from.
Bad News
from
Bears.
Bad News Bears.
So we'd show up 2 hours before the game. We'd be there before everybody. We'd sit there and drink coffee and eat pastries, and people thought we were fancy lads.
Yeah, we had a regimen. You know, we'd show up. We'd go to this one of those those Mexican pastry shops that are like the fake French pastry shops. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd model it after like a French pastry shop, but it was a Mexican pastry shop. We'd go there and we'd get the coffee with the cinnamon in it. Remember?
Yeah, put a little cinnamon.
Really good Mexican coffee. We get a couple larges of that, and then we get just an assortment of these pastries, and we'd go sit on the bench and read the paper.
And I like the Creamhorn.
And we'd have the 2 cups of coffee. We'd split it. You know, we'd sit there and just like sip our coffee and read our paper until these jarheads showed up. These juggleheads.
Yep.
These knuckle draggers. They'd show up like, what are you guys doing? Like, I'm reading the fucking paper. I'm learning. I want to find out what's going on in the world. I'm having a pastry, having a cup of coffee, and then I'm going to hit the ball all over the goddamn ballpark.
Right.
You know?
That's my plan for the day.
Yeah, that's my plan for the day. Why don't you go fuck yourself?
Yeah. Same thing happened. By the way, Mike, I went to a tryout last weekend.
Oh, you're going back at it, huh?
Well, I don't want to play. I want to go and try out.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they say, "Oh yeah, you're pretty good," we definitely like to have you. You know, when I like do a little showing off, then I just go, my back hurts. I'm going to take the year off. I think that's what I like to do because I want to show myself for my own ego that I could still make it if I really wanted to.
Well, we joined this one team, and it was a disaster. We show up. and the guy's carrying three. I'm one of three first basemen, which you don't carry three first basemen.
Yeah, you don't have three first basemen.
You don't do it,
three.
especially in a men's league.
Yeah.
And the guy who played behind, the guy who I had to split time with, there was another guy, but the other guy was an Elvis impersonator.
It was an Elvis impersonator from Florida.
It was an Elvis impersonator, so he'd be sitting there with chops on. He couldn't hit,
shaking his hips.
He'd have these big lamb chops. Yeah. And the coach would say, okay, he would take me out late in the game. And I go, why are you taking me out? He goes, well, because
defensive replacement.
A defensive replacement. I go,
Right.
you're bringing an Elvis impersonator.
Yeah.
Because I'm driving all the way the hell out of these places on a Sunday. You know, I'm not sharing time with two other first basemen.
Hey, you know how he was not like Elvis?
What?
0 hits.
Yeah.
Hey.
Right.
Yeah.
We should have died. We probably used that on him. I don't know.
I think we did. But we got into it one day where the whole team turned on us.
Oh.
We're like, you know what? We're just trying to say, hey, here's an idea how to win a fucking ball game. Because we're throwing around
with
statistics.
The bunting.
I go, first of all, what are we bunting for? And second of all, take
we're
a
down
goddamn
5
walk.
runs, you idiot.
I go, take a walk. Like people swinging at balls in the dirt up over their heads, hacking away like they're trying to chop down a cherry tree.
You're down by 4 runs. Down by 4 runs. There's nobody on base. A 3-1 count, and the guy swings at a curveball.
I said,
out of his zone.
and I'm yelling at them. I'm like, this is a fucking This is a men's baseball league in the suburbs of Chicago.
Yeah, I busted my ass to get out here. I woke up early on a Saturday.
I go, I'm going to take a walk. I'm going to go up there and I'm going to get a walk. Yeah. And I just stood up with the bat on my shoulders. Nobody can throw fucking strikes.
No.
So I in 5 pitches, he throws 1 strike. I'm walking to first base. And I said, now, see how fucking easy it is? Now walk, get men on base. And they just were, it was a nightmare.
Yeah. Next guy grounds into a double play on the first pitch. It doesn't mean anything to you, Mike, Tom.
Yeah.
He doesn't know
just
what we're
laughing.
saying right now.
But it doesn't. But it
paint a picture, nonetheless.
Yeah, the next guy just got their hacks away because in his head he sees himself hitting the ball into the stratosphere, and he nubs it off the edge of the bat, and it's double play.
I tell you this tryout I went to though, Mike, because I don't go to a lot of these. You know, I don't do this anymore.
Hey Tom, you can go take why don't you go take a break, Tom? You can go
take a break, Tom.
Yeah, go.
I'm checking my mail right now.
Yeah, we got it.
Go have a Fresca.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I would just but like the moment I showed up, even just walking toward them as they're doing that line of people throwing before the practice.
Oh yeah.
And just hearing the talk, right as I got closer, it all came rushing back, like you forget, you know, that, and there's all this, bro, blah, 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 nutsack, bro, whatever, you know, it's all this bro talk,
nutsack,
because it's all it's all in the Central Valley there, and it's just all it's all different. I mean, these are nice guys, but it was just like, it was just such a different vibe. Like it's strange.
It ain't softball.
No.
When I came to visit Dan in Oakland. He took me to hang out with his softball team. Remember?
I did. Okay.
Yeah, we went over to the guy's house.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those are all do-gooder lawyers. Those guys.
Yeah.
Those are nice guys. Yeah. The East Bay Squirrels.
Yeah.
Shout out to East Bay Squirrels.
East Bay Squirrels. So we go over to this guy's house, and he has a nice spread over there, right?
Yeah. Right.
And we're sitting in his backyard, and the guy's got a pot plant the size of an oak tree. And I go, what's going on with this? And he's like, and the guy goes, I have a medical card that says, and I can grow it. He goes, I can grow 99 of these things. And I go, what'd you get that for? He goes, apparently I have trouble sleeping. It's like, listen, dude. I go, I have serious problems. And I pulled out my medicine kit. I go, I take 2 of these in the morning. I take 1 of these before night. I take 1 in the middle of the day just because.
Right.
I go, and you're telling me I can move out here and I can get me 1 of these?
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you, it's
oh my God.
It's paradise for that. Yeah.
But then there was a guy sitting there. It was a spitting image of Lou Reed, and I'm staring at him. I go, that's Lou Reed. And he had a fucked up ankle. He broke his ankle.
Yeah, that's Eric Price. Yeah, he's still my friend. Yeah.
And he broke his ankle, and I'm staring at it, and I'm like, that's not good, man. He's like, yeah, I think it'll be okay. And he goes, I'm just going to give it a few more weeks to heal.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, Dan, what the fuck place is this? What is this land that you live in?
Nobody worries about anything. Yeah.
I go, I'm in the backyard, and I'm being shaded by pot plants. I'm sitting in the shade of pot plants. Lou Reed is sitting next to me. He's got a fucked up broken ankle, and he's okay with it. I go, the guy is okay with it. I go, why can't I live here? You could snap my ankle in half, and I'll be okay with it.
Yeah. You live in by comparison, a world that's just a maelstrom of catastrophic neuroses and
Right.
and disasters.
Well, I walk out
By
the door, the
comparison.
choppers are following me.
Yeah.
Every other car parked on the street
Got to stir the sauce.
has been booted by the city.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
There's a yellow
you drop
boot on every
one. You
third
drop
car.
one car key and he gets lost in the grass right at your feet, and you cannot find it.
Yeah. Every week you get a stoplight camera ticket with your photo of your car sitting in the neutral zone.
I remember back when I lived in Chicago. Just every time, just once in a while, I come out to my car and I see that ticket on there.
Yeah.
And it was at a time when I just couldn't absorb that kind of cost very often.
No.
And I'd see
Right.
that ticket and I just think, it's just ruined my life. My life is over now.
Yeah.
Because now I owe somebody $70, 70 smackaroos I owe somebody now.
Yeah.
It's 100
Right.
now.
Now I pay 70 because I think the thread count at the hotel is a little bit better. And I'm not saying I'm loaded. I'm just saying it's a different way of seeing the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I go,
But
well,
now you
this
get
one's
it.
a little closer to the cafe. I'll get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
We're adults now.
Things change. We're adults. Now let's get back to talking about this goddamn comedy 1 minute at a time. We're such adults.
Right.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not
Guys
just
knocking
joking.
over
You know what it
flowers
is?
with the
We
golf
don't have
cart.
to get
think
back
we've-
to it at all.
I think we've hit that. If we're on the roller coaster of life, we've now crescendoed off the. We're now in that
Yeah.
part where we've hit the climax, and now we're going down the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not-
I see
Uh,
it more as
yeah.
you're done with the big hill, and now you're able to finally take a breath and think about, well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
like that second hill.
Yeah. You're in the midst of it.
Okay, sure.
The initial
Yeah.
hill is behind you.
Right. My neck hurts.
And,
just like
you're
if
in
I
like
was
a
on a roller
corkscrew or
coaster.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went on the we mentioned Cedar Point before. What's the was it the
Demon
Millennium?
drop. Well, the demon drop was the drop.
No, but there's it was new like 10 years ago. This roller coaster, the Magnum or the Millennium or something.
Well, the Magnum
And
was,
I was technically too tall to be on it. I was like, well, I saw that you have to be shorter than this line.
technically too tall, Tom.
I was technically too tall, Tom, for the roller coaster, but they weren't it was like some teenager who wasn't checking or anything. I'm like, I really want to go on the Magnum or whatever this is, and I went on, and as I was on it, I found that I was sort of ducking away from girders and beams and things as I'm going by
Oh my
90
God.
miles an hour, and I'm like, I shouldn't have gotten on this.
Yeah.
This is,
Yeah.
I should probably pay attention to the safety, regulations
Right.
and things of these things.
Yeah,
But I did not get killed, but I was
if you're not
worried.
short enough to ride this ride, and you do, you will be soon.
Yeah, you need to be accompanied by a child.
It'll be
Yeah.
half as tall.
You'll be half as tall after that thing.
Right.
After
And now
this-
I can go on it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Hey, by
Yeah.
the way, I had a note from last time, and Mike was going to tell the gun show story. He told the boat show story, and then he had a gun show story.
All right.
I don't know if it's a gun show story. I used to go to gun shows.
I thought you
The-
had said that's a whole nother story, but it might just be that you meant that in the general
That is a figure of
sense.
speech.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'd go to no. It was the same thing. It would be like at the state fairgrounds where they'd have the gun shows, right? They'd have all the dealers.
It was
and-
weird.
Yeah, it was a
In
weird. And it was like
retrospect.
it was a lot of back alleys dealing of guns.
Yeah.
It was like the gun show loophole before there was a loophole.
Right.
Right.
But you would go there and they would
Right.
have every sort of killing machine possible.
Yeah.
And everybody
You-
trying to
like
pretend
when you were
like-
there, you had to find a loophole in order to leave without a gun.
Yeah.
Like that would be the loophole that you're looking for, the gun show loophole.
Yeah.
Well, how old were you when you were going to these things? Were you with your dad or something?
Yeah, well, my dad was liked to go hunting, even though he didn't. My dad had a couple shotguns, but he never went out shooting with them.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever really shot them. He shot them once or twice, but he liked to go hunting because it was something to do. I think he liked he just liked the outdoors.
Sure.
So, and a couple of my mom's brothers were hunters, and so he took me once, it was a horrifying experience. I mean, literally horrifying.
Yeah.
We go out to my uncle's, my mom's brother's cabin out up north somewhere. It was after one of I don't remember anything about the gun shows more than they were just, bizarre things.
Yeah.
And my dad was very into like the Michigan hunting culture and fishing culture. Even though I don't think he really enjoyed it. I just think he was trying to get into it. So we go hunting with my uncle, and he has his buddy out. He has his buddy cops outside there.
Sure.
In Chicago.
Coming to get you.
Yeah. So he has this buddy. His name was Dave, my uncle's friend, and he was a cop. And I remember he was really racist. And he was saying but he was saying a lot of weird things that were making me as a kid feel uncomfortable. And even though I didn't understand it, but my dad did, and he was kind of like getting bugged.
Oh, okay.
So my uncle goes, listen, we're going to go put some carrots out. We had these big bags of, like industrial-sized bags of carrots. He goes, we're going to go bait the deer. We're going to go put some carrots out, and the deer will... So we jump in this, like, unmarked van with the sliding...
All right.
An unmarked van, right.
With the sliding door, like an Econoline with the sliding door.
Right.
The two front seats and just nothing in the back. And there's a couple
Full
of
of
these...
candy in the back.
A few clown
What's all this
masks.
candy?
Never you mind.
You'll find out.
Just stay out of the basement. No, so we get in there. My dad, me, and my uncle's driving, and Dave is sitting in the back with us. We're sitting on these bags of carrots, and we're going out into the woods. And we'd stop every so often and put a big pile of the carrots, and then go to the next spot. So we're sitting there, and we just put the carrots out, and we get in the van. I'm sitting with my back. The door is right next to me, the sliding door, and Dave is on the other side, staring out the door, and I'm sitting right next to the door, and my dad's sitting next to me. And Dave goes, "Don't move," and so he's looking right at me, but he's looking over my shoulder out the door. Pulls out his pistol, his automatic pistol,
Jesus.
and starts just unloading the magazine.
Oh my God.
But he's pointing the gun directly at me, shooting over my shoulder.
No way.
Like
I don't know about you, but that's when I leave the unmarked van.
Yeah, right.
No, and you got to understand it's all metal. So I remember the sound, the report of the it just ringing my ears.
Yeah, now you have Pete Townsend's hearing.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
and you could you could hear the shells hitting the floor in the van.
Oh my
hot
God.
lead.
And it's like, yeah. And and my eyes are open, and I have like the scream face, but I'm not making a sound, and I'm just shaking.
Yeah.
Because he's pointing right at me and just shooting over my shoulder, and you just see the flame from the gun.
Oh my God.
And he unloads, and he goes, "I see a deer. I think I got him. I think I got him."
I think I destroyed it.
Does that count as a drive-by deer shooting? If you're in a car trying to do that?
Yeah, well, we were just sitting there.
Unloading
We
a
were on
pistol?
We were on my uncle's property, like up in northern Michigan. But I was just like frozen there, and I'm still just like staring and shaking.
Yeah.
And my dad went apeshit on him, like my dad attacked
I
him.
was going to say, come on.
Yeah, my uncle had to jump in and pull my dad off.
Wow.
Because he was like ready to kill him. And I'm still just like frozen against the wall, like just sitting there. And any chance of success I had in life was killed that day because I was just...
Yeah,
you were shot to death without being wounded.
No, yeah.
Yeah. You got like shell shock, like
Yeah,
World
I walked
War
out.
I
Yeah, I didn't say a word.
You get the 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
And then they made me
crazy.
shoot. Then they made me shoot a gun the next day, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I told my uncle, I said, "I'm left-handed." He looked at me. He goes, "Yeah, but you shoot a gun right-handed." I go, "No, I don't. It feels more comfortable if I do it this way."
What could go
And
wrong?
He goes,
Yeah.
I go, listen. I remember it's like a kid. I picked up a rock. I go, see, this is my left hand. See how far I can throw it with my left hand? I go, my right hand, I can't do anything. So why would I put it on my right shoulder and aim with my? He's like, just trust me on this one. You're a right-handed shooter.
Oh,
And I
God.
go, and so I put it on my right hand.
Aren't
It's like a
guns
12
symmetrical?
No, right, exactly. But why would I hold
Right.
it
Yeah.
in my less dominant arm?
Yeah.
And then it gave me a 12
What a nut.
gauge, and I shot it, and it like hit me in the chin, and it blew me in the back.
Oh, because
Oh my
there's a
God.
lot of kick on those 12 gauges.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because I couldn't hold it right because I'm left-handed, and it was horrible. It was horrible. And ever since
Wow.
then,
That's
I'm like,
amazing.
That would hurt.
I never want to see anything. I don't like guns. I don't like to be around them.
Yeah.
It's a whole different culture. And you know what my dad got me for my first Christmas? I was 3 months old. He got me a 12 gauge shotgun. Yeah, that's what I got for my first
That's
Christmas.
beautiful.
Would you being sarcastic?
No, I'm
Yeah,
not being
just
Are you dead
sarcastic.
serious?
My
Yeah, just put
dad,
it away,
my dad got me a 12 gauge. I think for my dad, it's more. He's a Southern. He's from Tennessee. He's 13, brothers and sisters. I think for him, it's like one of those things where it's like you're planning on having a long relationship with so you're buying him something that later on
Right.
you're going to
Yeah,
use.
You're
kind
going to
of
grow
thing.
up with this gun.
But
Did
it
you
was
ever
one of
use
these
it?
ones that like comes apart, and it was in a box underneath my parents' bed. It was just sitting there the whole time, and
Wow.
it was sitting there in pieces. And I just basically once in a while I'd get it out and just stare at it, and
By yourself, yeah, you have to plug
I
it.
just didn't know what to do, and I was like, I don't want to use this thing,
That's
I
crazy.
want to bake croissants with mom. I don't want to do this. I'm
Where's
working
my
on a
apron?
cream horn here.
Yeah, I'm
Right?
learning how to make a good boy.
Did you ever actually go out and use it or anything?
Never
Did you
fired
ever
it. Never once
Wow.
fired it. Yeah.
That's incredible.
I was September, October, November. I was 4 months old almost when I got that. Which
Oh my
you
gosh.
think a 12 gauge even kicks a lot now, but if you're 4 months old trying to fire a 12
Forget
gauge,
it.
it's really got a lot of
Rip
kick.
you in half.
Especially you can barely hold your own head up,
Right.
I know, really. Come on.
let alone handle the report from a 12 gauge.
I'd say.
I'm too young for this shit. I would say after.
So I'll give you a quick gun story then. Now you want a gun story? I'll give you a gun story.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
All
All right, go.
My dad had two guns. He had a 12 gauge, and he had a 22, which is like a little pistol shooter. It's like it's a rifle, but it's a very
Yeah.
it doesn't have much of a report. It's
Very
like
low
it's like
caliber
It's
rifle.
low
Right.
caliber. And then he had a 20 gauge, which he bought for me for Christmas that I never shot. Same story as you. I had
Wow.
no interest in it. But one of the things I did have an interest in was we had this big, in the early days of the camcorder, we had the VHS video cameras. There were these big, massive
Cool.
things, right?
Yeah.
So I liked to make little movies.
Right.
So I had my cousin Franco would come over and we'd make these little shitty movies.
Let's make a John Woo
I think I've
movie.
seen some of those, haven't I?
Yeah, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
Or we do like wrestling shows in the basement, and we'd make up characters and we'd videotape them but we wrote this one movie called Return of the Black Wizard. And it was a karate movie, So I had this like skeleton mask on my little 4-foot cousin. And I go, "You're the Black Wizard." So I put my football shoulder pads on him, put this big cape on him, and put this like skeleton mask on him. "You're the Black Wizard, and I'm the commando that's here to kill you." So and I'm at 14. I'm 6 foot like I am now, and he's like the 4-foot Black Wizard. So we wrote these scenes, and I go, so I had the keys to my mom's car. I was like 13. The keys to no, I was in less than. I'm sorry, I was like 12. The keys to my mom's car. I knew where my dad's rifles were downstairs.
Uh-oh.
And we had the whole
Oh my
afternoon.
God.
So I said, okay, we're gonna do the scenes. Here's the scene with the Black Wizard. Now here's the scene where the commando's getting ready to come get you, and that was me. And I remember I soundtracked it to the Rolling Stones' "Rocks Off" from Exile
Right.
on Main Street.
Yeah.
But it's me, and I had my Powerhouse gym jacket. I put that on. I had my weight belt. I put that on. But it's me just literally like getting the guns ready, this scene. So I'm shooting it, and it's me like, pumping the 12 gauge and getting, so I'm playing with fucking guns
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
basement. I
Yeah.
knew where they were. They weren't loaded, thank God.
Right.
But I'm playing with them. And my
Wow.
cousin's
Yeah.
holding the camera. And then we get in the car, and I'm driving down the street with a fucking rifle in the front seat. And he's
Jesus.
filming me. And I'm just filming this like we're making this really interesting little movie here. Long story
God.
short, years go by. And one Christmas, I go upstairs to take a nap. And my mom and dad find the video, and they watch it.
Oh my God.
And like, and they're like, what is this? What the hell's going on? It's me driving in my mom's car down the street at like 12 years old. it's me getting preparing these guns in the basement to go kill the Black Wizard. And it's me and the Black Wizard like having the final karate scene in the backyard. But it was just, and I'm thinking to myself now, it's like, what the hell was I doing with these rifles? What the hell was I doing driving the car with a rifle in the front seat?
Oh my
it
God.
was ridiculous.
Youth.
Oh.
I still have
my God.
I have that tape.
Yeah, I think that's the one I've seen.
You've seen it, Return of the Black Wizard.
Yeah. It
Oh.
was awesome.
Yeah.
That's great, though. I do like that on like some level. And it's sort of like my dad. You there's this idea that you're going to be a manly man, but really it's more about putting on plays like Corky St. Clair.
Yeah, it's like finding the artistic way out.
Dressing the guy up like the Black Wizard and getting just the right look.
Like, no, this is not right. This look is not right.
Yeah, it's not going to work. Not going to work.
Let me get my sewing machine out. Yeah, let me.
I'll fix this.
Let's get the sewing machine. We'll fix it. It's going to be an all weekend thing. We're not going to get this done today.
Yeah,
Needs the Mike DiMaria touch.
Yeah, here's a 20. Go up to the bakery, get some cream horns, get some of that good Mexican coffee with the cinnamon in it.
Can you get coffees for the crew, please? Thanks.
Yeah, we're going to be here for a while.
I want a cream horn now.
Yeah, bring in the choreographer. We got to get that fight scene choreographed correctly. Think West Side Story.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it was.
That's beautiful.
But at the same time, we were also rolling. We can't do this anymore. We don't allow ourselves to do this, or the kids to do this. We were rolling the dice back then.
Oh yeah.
We were taking our lives in our own hands. Playing with things like that, going and grabbing your walking stick and going off into the woods where the hobos hang out.
Yeah, there was no right. I mean, I could just play. I had a knife collection that I was.
Oh yeah.
That I just like had all these big, gigantic hunting knives and like a machete and like a throwing star and like all this stuff in a
throwing
box.
stars. I used to go to that army surplus on Woodward.
Oh yeah.
And this was in the '80s when the Bruce Lee movies were huge.
Yeah.
And I had like 17 different throwing stars, and I'd be out there whipping them against the fence. And
if you saw your kid doing that now, you'd be like, Jesus Christ, get back inside.
Kid, what are you doing, man?
Right.
Yeah.
Can't you just play with an iPad like a normal kid?
The freezer in my parents' basement has a hole in it from where Jerry Porter and I were throwing Chinese throwing stars. we're like, we'll throw it at this cardboard box. We just put the cardboard box in front of the freezer.
Oh my
and,
God!
went right through it.
And you know what? That was
childhood. Still in there.
That was childhood. You just go outside and throw throwing stars at things.
Right.
Yeah.
Into pieces of wood.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Or you melt you set your Star Wars figures on fire just to see what they look like when they're melted.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
They look black and charred.
Yeah, you just go into somebody's garage. Some kid, his dad had all these tools in the garage and power tools. Mm-hmm. He did all sorts of whacked out shit.
Yep.
You roll the dice every day.
I dragged my friend.
Yeah.
I dragged my friend Sean Haynes behind the lawnmower once with a rope.
Oh, the riding mower?
Yeah, we were trying to do Indiana Jones, like Raiders of the Lost Ark, like dragging behind a truck.
That was like last week.
Yeah, right. It was very cold.
Oh, and I would just do that too.
We should have waited for the thaw.
I would get on the riding mower and just like ride it around the yard like as fast as I can.
Oh yeah.
It would be, and we lived like right next to the main road, and I would ride up to the main road, like on it, and I would come because we had this massive hill, and I would just hurl the riding mower down the hill as fast as I can.
And if it hits it hits an angle too much, it's over.
Yeah, the thing goes on top of me, and I get hacked to death.
Yeah, you just get crushed by it.
And then hacked.
We go sledding down the street, the middle of the street. We just go sledding down the hill.
Yeah.
And every once in a while,
it would end in a curve. There could easily be a car coming as you're getting to the bottom, and they would never in a million years see you until it was way too late.
And every once in a while, you would do something, you would finally get hurt, and then you would be running back home, like holding your arm in place, as it's half there.
I think it's broken.
But you're screaming, it's like, oh no, that's not good, that's not good, that's not good, that's not good. And you're running home. Oh, I did it, I finally did it.
Yeah,
I've done it. No.
They're going to kill me.
me.
Yeah, they're going to kill me. Yeah.
Like, go change.
Yeah.
Tracking mud everywhere.
Or like you'd bounce off the hood of some car or something that almost hits you.
You spend your whole life as Mr. Bill, basically. Just kidding. No,
Put
no,
back
no,
together.
No,
Oh no no.
oh no, 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 no.
Oh,
By the way, that's what's great about that video. You liked it, which you might have to repost at some point. But you set a good example for your son there.
That's
A
right.
little footloose and fancy free.
Make a big
You
crazy
did a
mess.
triple Lindy right into the neighbor, the inflatable pool or whatever.
And I think when
Yeah.
he comes out, I think he even says to his son, he's like, when his son was going, oh no no no, he's like, I think Tommy says, "What's the matter, honey?"
Like a
matter,
50s
kid?
dad.
26 canoe.
And he just says, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. I do need to repost
All right,
that.
make sure you post that one for this minute.
All right.
Okay.
Well, listen,
I
we
will.
didn't really
Well,
talk about the minute
well,
very
listen.
much, but
There's not that much to say about this minute. Let's be fair. We said it was great, which it is. You know, go watch the movie. Go watch Caddyshack. You'll see what we
I
mean.
don't know where he's got about 195 yards. I think he's going to go with about a 9 iron. What'd you say?
I think he's going to say, hey, listen.
Think
He's going to say, hey,
about that
listen,
one.
and wrap up the episode.
Yeah. I think he's got about 1 minute left. I think he's going to wrap up the episode.
Yeah. I think maybe Mike's going to say something just as Tom's wrapping up the episode.
Yeah,
in,
Mike.
another 10 minutes. Another 10 minutes.
All right.
But let's see if I can end this.
Yeah, I love you too. I'm going to beat you to the punch right there. Hit
All
the
right,
strike.
thank you.
I love you too.
Thank you.
I love you both.
Okay.
Now what?
Yeah, we all love each other.
Yeah.
This is minute 62. You've had a great time. If you love this, come back for minute 63
Bring a
next
friend.
time
Bring
here
a friend.
on the Caddyshack
And
minute.
bring a friend.
Yeah.
Bring a friend and bring
Yeah.
$5
Yeah,
and a
God
bottle
damn
of
it.
anything to go.
Yeah. To go.
Hey, you scratched my ankle.